Can I ask that everyone please take their seats? We're going to start the official part of the evening very shortly.
Got the march on his man. Can he convert this one from the boundary line? He can indeed.
Forward pocket for Brisbane, for Val. In front, got the tap down, picked up by Beams. Oh, Clay Beams! Out of... The players get around in tight angle on the snap, along the ground.
Through a goal for the Swans. Just reward from a pretty good effort from them.
It is, and it's a great team effort there as well. The amount of pressure put on the NT Thunder players coming out of their back line. The touch ball here from the guy on the mark, I think it was...
Could put the Sharks in front. He drills it! The Cabana Lounge here at Frankhauser Reserve goes ballistic. Yeah, the kick wasn't good. On there by Brad Shear. Now Greenwell just puts the afterburners on, shoots it for goal, and Fitzroy Greenwell, welcome to the Neafl, young man.
Underneath it. Didn't quite mark. Brought it to ground level. Did well. Put the handball over the top. Chance here for the students going inside 50. Hiscock runs to 45. Drop punch on the way. He's got it. Perfect start for the Sydney Uni students. Out the back line, Warren. Drop punch on the way. Oh, don't tell me. A freakish effort from Ben Warren for the Hornets.
Rioli did well, got the bounce, he's got plenty of speed to burn. Shannon Rioli approaches 50. Rioli kicks for goal, 45 out, and straight through the middle to bring the Thunder back into this one.
Goes into the middle, they can get something going here. Kennedy was running at the side, wanted the handball, eventually got it. Inside 50, Kennedy puts it on his right boot, drop punt on the way. Welcome back to football, Adam Kennedy.
Up towards half forward. Gross spoils Derricks. Here's Matty Wilson. A snap on goal from 40 metres out to have the bounce. Yes, it does. Sydney University on the board after 30 seconds.
Ellison kept running, received the ball as well. Good running from the young man and a long kick. What a beauty! Jacob Ellison on the run can deliver a cracker.
Well, but Richards gives the ball away now. Bruce swings it around. Has he got enough toe on it? You better believe he has. Possession and has another player, and now the Hornets swinging along the boundary line. Here they go through the 22 in pairs. Brilliant tackle over the top from Smith. Some real patient footy here from the Hornets. They slam it into forward 50 and a terrific mark from the Ashley Hornets player. Oh, James Nellis has taken a beauty.
Needed to find it. Murdoch picked it up, snap around the body, ball swinging back. I think it's a goal. Wowee! From the pocket, something from nothing.
On the ruck contest now, Redland coming away with the ball. Pick up. Oh, Anderson took a great mark. Eyes for the ball. Reminded me of Nick Rewald taking a mark many, many years ago now. That's a...
Up, Archie Smith, there it is! What a cracking game of Neafl footy here! The top of the table Sharks retain their spot.
AFL State League and International Manager Mr Simon Lawton, corporate partners, players, coaches, staff and supporters. Welcome to Neafl's Night of Nights for the 5th annual Neafl MVP Award ceremony, featuring the most coveted Neafl MVP Award announcement. In keeping with the AFL's commitment to reconciliation and respect, I acknowledge the Gadigal people as the traditional owners of this land where we gather today and recognise that this land has always been under their custodianship. I pay my respect to elders past and present and to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today. Ladies and gents, some of the accolades to be received tonight as part of the 2018 Neafl Awards, proudly supported by a Leicester Player Star. Team of the Year selection will see the very best of the Neafl competition rewarded. The prestigious Tribal Sport Rising Star Award, where obviously our best young player is recognised. And of course the crowning of our most valuable player in 2018. Could we see a new champion this year? Or could Aspley star Matty Payne once again conquer them all? It's all set up to be another yet thrilling count later this evening. My name is Mark Kennedy, I'm the MC for this evening. It's a great privilege and honour being your host on this exciting night where we'll highlight and showcase our competition's greatest players. Just some quick housekeeping. Bathrooms can be found just out the door and where you came in and just round to the right there. Mobile phones, if we could have those on silent, it would be greatly appreciated tonight. And the bar, if you're having a little tipple, and I know a few players and supporters and officials might tonight, the bar will be closing at 10 o'clock and we hope to announce the MVP at approximately 9:30. And please don't drink the blue liquid in those jars in the middle of your table. It's not a cocktail. The Neafl MVP Award voting system has input from our umpires and coaches, which ensures the best player will be holding the trophy up later on stage this evening. At the conclusion of each game, both coaches and umpires independently cast their votes on a 5-4-3-2-1 basis. Voting for the Neafl MVP went behind closed doors after round 16, and as you may know, we were left with a really exciting leaderboard. Canberra Young Gun, Mitch Maguire, had a one-vote lead over Aspley's Matty Payne, with Southport duo Josh Clayton and Andrew Boston hot on the heels inside that top 5. I look forward to a thrilling vote count later on this evening. Tonight we'll also be announcing the following awards: Goal of the Year, Mark of the Year, the leading goal kicker, the Umpires of the Year, as well as recognise our 100-game players. What an incredible 2018 we've seen. This year we have continued to see the standard rise with an incredibly close ladder setting up for one of the best final series to date. We have six teams in the finals, and it should prove to be a truly fantastic final series as they chase the coveted 2018 Neafl Premiership. The grand final still has the possibility of being played in 3 different states or territories, which I think is a great achievement in terms of the closeness of the competition. A big congratulations should also go to the Southport Sharks on claiming the Neafl Minor Premiership for the first time in club history. I'm pleased to advise that this week's elimination finals on Saturday are Sydney University versus Canberra at Blacktown and Aspley versus Brisbane at Graham Road. Best of luck to all teams competing in the finals this year. We have a lot of great awards to hand out this evening, so let's get into it. This year, for the first time, we'd like to take the opportunity to welcome our most experienced players to the stage and formally welcome guests. Ladies and gentlemen, please make him feel welcome, Mr. Tim Burton.
I saw Sprouley having a bit of a laugh over there. I think he kicked 5 of me a few weeks ago, so a couple of highlights up there. My lowlights, but his highlights. Firstly, thanks to the Neafl for asking me to speak tonight. I'm pretty sure they asked me to talk hoping I'd bring the intelligence and wit of a university graduate. But a fact they may not have known is that it took me 10 years to finish. Before I say anything else, I just want to acknowledge all the significant others in our lives, friends, girlfriends, partners, wives, mothers and fathers. We as players are all very grateful for their patience and understanding when it comes to us and our footy. Without their support, training and playing the sport we all love would be an impossible task. This should be also extended to the club volunteers who work tirelessly each week to make our job as simple as turning up and playing. So to all the volunteers here tonight, thank you very much for your selfless contributions. Since 2011, there's obviously been some huge changes to the structure and ultimately quality of the competition, and that's a huge credit to the AFL, the Neafl and all the sponsors involved. The progression from a fledgling competition to a genuine second-tier one has been rapid. We're starting to create some history around the competition with fierce rivalries, most notably Aspley and Northern Territory, but more recently the Swans in Brisbane and Uni in Southport. As well as that, we've started to have some successes at representative level, with our last two games against Tasmania being good wins. The next challenge is to become a strong pathway to the AFL. I know there are probably a number of players here tonight who will be strutting their stuff at the national and state combines later in the year, which is great for the competition, and all the best to those guys. I'm coming into the twilight of my footy career and realising how fortunate we are to play in such a unique competition. The training and match day commitments, the risk of injury and travelling interstate obviously comes with its challenges, especially for players with young families and busy careers. But in years to come, we'll all look back with pride at being part of it. Despite the challenges of playing Neafl, I'm sure I speak for most players in saying that the opportunity to travel and play with 20 of your best mates is something we'll cherish, particularly in retirement. On that note, I probably should mention and thank Christy Paul from CT Connections. Organising the flights for 30 players and officials from the travelling teams each week must be a headache, so thanks very much. I often find myself explaining the Neafl competition to die-hard rugby league fans in Sydney, and whilst we don't have the reputation of the VFL, the Waffle or the Sample yet, they are amazed by its professional nature and how widespread the competition is. With the extra challenge of playing against the AFL clubs and their listed players, this competition is a very tough one. This year, as much as any, proves how hard it is to win. There's been ebbs and flows of form from every side, but in the end, Southport have come out on top for the minor premiership. And when you compare this to their disappointing year last year, this is a fantastic effort. So to Steve and Daniel and your group, well done. The Swans, once again, have been very good all year and will be tough opponents for whomever they come up against in the weeks to come. Sydney Uni, Aspley and Brisbane have been there last year, so I expect them to be very competitive. Hopefully we are anyway. And good luck in your games next week. Canberra's transformation over the past few years has been an absolute whirlwind, and you thoroughly deserve your spot in the finals this year. But for Sydney Uni's sake, let's hope your first finals appearance isn't as successful, but all the best anyway. To the sides who missed out this year, commiserations. I know how you're feeling. I've been there plenty of times before, but enjoy tonight and your off-season celebrations, and I'm sure you'll all be back bigger and better next year. Obviously, not every player will be back next year, so I thought it'd be fitting to acknowledge the outgoing retirees. So for those of you finishing up, well done and good luck. The only one I know that's confirmed is Darren Ewing, and the fact he was going to be here tonight, but I think he's just had his third child, so congratulations, Darren, on that. But yeah, I've been unfortunate enough to play on Buff on a number of occasions and can confirm head-to-head he's come out well on top. I remember one game in particular where we were playing the Thunder at Henson Park and I'd held him to 1 goal at three-quarter time. Most of the game I played off him and just tried to jump over him and spoil to avoid wrestling with the bull of a man that he is. And then in classic Buff style, he cleared the 50 out and they were just bombing it into him as much as possible. We were up by 3 goals with about 20 minutes left and they bombed another one into him. He was about 10 metres in front of me and just turned and ran back, facing facing away from the ball. I twisted him as best I could, but he threw my fist out for the spoil. Unfortunately, I missed, and it landed, as Buff landed on his back, he marked it. He just went back and kicked the goal truly, as he often does. And after the celebration, I sort of asked him, shaking him, I said, how the heck, well, I didn't say heck, but did you mark that? He just looked at me and calmly replied, I don't know, my eyes were shut. He goes, just fell in my lap. Anyway, he went on to kick 2 more goals in the quarter, I think one from the pocket in front of our crowd, and won the game for the Thunder. I'm pretty sure he had 5 kicks for the game, 4 of which were goals. He's been a fantastic player for this competition and has always played hard but always fair. So he'll be obviously sorely missed by the Thunder, but I'm sure every defender in the competition is glad to see you go. So good luck and congratulations on a fantastic Neafl career. Finally, to the Neafl and Jess Webster in particular, thanks for putting on such a great night to celebrate and recognise the individual achievements in our game. Congratulations to all the award winners that will be named tonight, and best of luck in the coming weeks. Cheers.
Thanks, Tim. I'd like to call up now the AFL New South Wales ACT State Manager of Football Operations, Sam Chadwick, to present the next few awards. Well, perhaps one of the most exciting awards to be handed out these days is the Goal of the Year. Rest assured, the Neafl Goal of the Year is right up there with the best of them. It's now time to reveal our top 5 contenders and the winner.
Goal of the Year. Number 5, NT Thunder, Ben Rioli, round 19.
Richard Tambling, but he's been a great player for them. Here's Ben Rioli on the bounce. Steps 1, steps 2, gets inside 50. He can go all the way. Go all the way, Ben. Runs in, kicks a goal, and has he got it? I reckon he has. That was a long running effort. Look at him. He's exuberant. He's excited. He's thrilled with a fantastic effort.
Number 4, Canberra, Harry Carr, round 5.
There's a couple of short hand pass options. Instead decided to put the Demons deep into attack. Off the hands of Fulford Whistle. Maybe some high contact in the marking contest. So that'll put Fulford where? Well, the man on the marking is standing right on the 50. So Fulford would have to kick this from 55 at best. Might be just too far for him, but he's going back. No, he's not. He's dropped it around to the right. That would be Carr. Long bomb. Oh, monster bomb. It goes through 3/4 of the way up the goalpost from inside the centre square, and look at the celebrations from the Canberra Demons. Well, Harry Carr, the long bomb. I guess it just goes to show if you've got a good car, you don't need to get stuck in traffic. Goal of the day.
Number 3, Astley, Ben Warren, round 11.
Down again. Spilled out. Campbell came back to Payne inside 50. Bit of a chip. 3-on-1 situation. Has picked up out the back by Warren. Drop punt on the way. Oh, don't tell me. A freakish effort from Ben Warren for the Hornets. From the pocket, just put boot to ball. And no space whatsoever to work with. And Ben Warren has kicked one of the goals of the year as Astley are out to a 7-point lead.
Number 2, Canberra, Reed Stevens, round 20.
Forward 50. Numbers are strong for the Demons. Fall's trying to come into it. Stevens now wrapped and pivoted around. Spun as he kicked it. Oh, Aaron Bruce has tapped it. But I reckon Reed Stevens has almost kicked the goal of the year. That was just beautiful stuff from the Canberra Demons.
And our winner from Sydney University, Damien Bonney, round 9.
Bonnie now tries to get it. O'Riordan goes to ground. And again, somehow it comes clear. Looking for some real estate. Bonnie, high, long towards the hot spot. Bouncing through! Ha ha ha! You little ripper, Damien Bonnie! His best! Ha ha! Beautiful stuff!
Well, please welcome to the stage, Neafl Goal of the Year, Sydney University forward Damien Bonney. mate. You don't get away that easy up here. Is it the best of your career, that one, you think?
Yeah, definitely.
You think?
100% best of my career.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're a bit of a, I suppose not quite a journeyman, we won't say, but you're well entrenched with Sydney University these days. But you've been around through the Sydney League and Morningside up there. Yep. Obviously, there's a lot of challenges that come with travelling in the Neafl up and down and so forth. But you've managed to handle it very well this year. What's the secret to Sydney Uni really pushing on this year, and obviously you playing an important part in that?
Yeah. As Tim alluded to before, it's just the support staff, the people out there that provide all your support there. So that's probably the number one priority for you getting through, because each week it's tough. You're travelling every couple of weeks, as you know, and to do that you need the support of all your teammates, your coaches, and your physios and stuff like that. So yeah.
Now it's well noted throughout the league that you don't mind a bit of a chirp. I think that's well known. But I suppose with the goal of the year, you've got a bit of extra ammunition out there. So is that something you think you might use pushing into this finals campaign? Look at me, I'm the 2018 Neafl Goal of the Year award winner. No,
mate, I wouldn't ever bring that up. You know me. No, the idea is just to get the win, and that's all we're going to worry about. But I'll obviously chuck in my chirps every now and then, as everyone knows. But I'll try and keep my mouth shut the next few games, and we'll see how we go.
Well done on winning the Neafl Goal of the Year for 2018, Damien Bonney. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on and let's get ready for our Mark of the Year. We all love these. The most spectacular marks are one of the most exciting aspects of our game. So let's sit back and enjoy the best marks of 2018.
Mark of the Year. Number 5, Aspley, Jono Freeman, round 3. Then goes long inside 50. It's a 2-on-1. Big leap from Freeman. Over the top of Daniel Charlesworth, actually stolen out of the hands of Jaden Young, who kicks the ground. Magnificent dexterity in the air from Jono Freeman, Neafl mark of the day. Number 4, NT Thunder, Joe Anderson, round 19.
From the ruck contest now, Redland coming away with the ball. Kick up. Oh, Anderson took a great mark. Eyes for the ball. Reminded me of Nick Rewald taking a mark many, many years ago now. That's a super job from Joe Anderson.
Number 3, Sydney University, Ryan Hebron, round 18.
In congestion, Salter out of the pack, inside forward 50. Oh, what about the leap of Ryan Hebron there? It was telegraphed, it was set up for him nicely, and he took full advantage with a terrific mark.
Number 2, Giants, Isaac Cumming, round 8.
Ellison did his own roving, cut off by Malone, got a kick to half forward. Isaac Cumming flew for a long time, the Broken Hill Flyer. Sat on Kyle Walsh's shoulders, former academy player for the Giants. And Isaac Cumming has taken one of the marks of the year.
And our winner from NT Thunder, Liam Patrick, round 14.
The man, the ball just ricocheted clear of him. He looks to get the ball moving very quickly. Dangerous is Liam Patrick. That is amazing.
Well, unfortunately, Liam can't be with us tonight, so I will ask the NT Thunder coach, Andrew Hodges, to come to the stage to accept the award on his behalf. Now, Andrew, disappointing season, and obviously individual accolades don't add up to team success, but it's good to walk away with Mark of the Year, and it's not what you wanted, but look, Liam Patrick has a very interesting story and what he does to come and play Neafl football each week. Can you give the people at home or people with us tonight just an aspect, a feeling of what he does to play week in, week out?
Yeah, it's a massive journey that Liam, each week he lives in Lajamana, which is about 9 hours out of Darwin, so he drives all that distance to play a game of footy and travel. So Liam hasn't played too many games for us this year, but as you can see, when he did, he's pretty exciting, and we love having him in our side, and hopefully next year we can get him a bit more often, and we're playing in finals.
Well, that mark from Liam was really spectacular, it's got to be said, and the athleticism that at your disposal with Liam in the side must be breathtaking when it all comes together.
Yeah, look, he's exciting, a lot of experience, and it's great to have him around the young players when he does play. So yeah, if we can get him in the side more often, we'll be a lot more competitive. So yeah, it has been a disappointing year, and obviously we want to play finals. So yeah, getting guys like Liam in the side is very important for us to go forward.
Now you've got a lot of players, and Liam obviously one of those, but a lot of players that have to do a lot of training in awkward situations. Liam's one. You've got a small core of players in Ellison as well. Yep. How do you coordinate the training for those players like Liam?
Yeah, it's a difficult task. Obviously, Abe Anker's obviously based in Alice Springs, and he's had an outstanding year. So, those training bases work really hard, and it's not ideal. But obviously, on the weekends, when someone like Abe's can do that, come in and play like he does every week, is pretty special, and a real credit to him. So, and Liam as well. So, it's definitely a challenge as a coach trying to get those guys on the same page on game day. But obviously, it's just the environment we're in. It's part of our program, so we just got to keep pushing forward.
And just the 4 games for Liam this year, and ideally you'd like to certainly push that into double digits next year. Is Liam committed to going on at this stage, given obviously the travel and the wear and tear he must cop from the travel alone, let alone the week in, week out of Neafl football?
Yeah, look, it's very difficult to get Liam in each week. Obviously, like I said, he's 9 hours away. That's dirt roads in the middle of nowhere. So, yeah, we want to get him in more often, and hopefully next year he'll recommit and play more games.
Well, can you please pass on our best wishes and the award certainly to Liam for what was an incredible mark of the year for 2018 in the Neafl.
Great, thanks, Mark.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Sam Chadwick for presenting those awards. But ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to recap the first month of the Neafl MVP voting.
Neafl MVP rounds 1 to 4. Midfielder Michael Manteet was the first to fly in 2018 as we kicked off with a season opener in Canberra.
Towards Manteet!
Sharks recruit Dylan Fife was superb on debut to poll 8 votes as the Sharks won by 62 points at Allan Shaw Park. NT Thunder veteran Cameron Eilert shot out of the blocks to be the joint leader after round 1 the following week.
Did beautifully, read it well in Cameron Eilert.
The evergreen 33-year-old polled 9 votes for his starring roll-off half-back in NT Thunder's epic 1-point victory over defending Premier Brisbane in the top end.
Cam Eilert takes a terrific match.
Lucas Malign started his year in style, but it was Demons teammate Mitch Maguire who polled 8 votes and earned the Tribal Sport Neafl Rising Star nomination for his superb performance in the midfield against Sydney University. In round 2, Matt Flynn was flying high in Mackay, and Michael Barlow dominated the midfield, while down in Sydney, Tom Young put on a masterclass to poll maximum votes against Redland.
Has he kicked a beautiful goal?
Brisbane duo Ryan Lester 9 votes and Clay Beam 7 were top performers in their grand final rematch against Sydney, with the pair combining for 64 disposals, 18 marks, 12 clearances, 12 inside 50s and 4 goals in the Lions' 50-point victory.
2 in a row to the Brisbane Lions!
Cameron Eilert extended his lead while two-time winner Matthew Payne earned his first votes of the season as NT Thunder were too strong for the Hornets at Graham Road. The following week, Southport co-captain Andrew Boston soared to the top of the leaderboard after maximum votes in the Sharks' dominant victory over Aspley. Mitch Maguire continued his early season form with a further 8 votes as the Demons recorded their biggest victory in the Neafl against Redland.
Maguire can stand there and curl one around.
4 players polled maximum votes in round 4 as the leaderboard began to take shape. Young had his second maximum vote performance of the season, collecting 21 disposals and 2 goals in the Students' 33-point win over Southport.
Oh, you little Anzac!
Payne moved into the top 10 after dominating against Canberra, while Anzac round medalist Matt Hamilman was duly awarded 10 votes after his 9-goal haul in Redland's 35-point win over NT Thunder in Alice Springs.
There you have it. He doesn't miss. It's extraordinary. Unbelievable performance from him.
At the end of round 4, Young led by 2 votes over Boston, with Maguire 1 vote behind in third, and Payne and Brisbane's Tom Bell rounding out the top 5.
Well, the leaderboard's starting to take some shape after only 4 rounds. We'll move on to our next award, and I'd like to call up AFL Talent and Academies Manager for New South Wales and Queensland, Mark Browning, to the stage to present the Tribal Sport Rising Star Award. The Rising Star, oh yes, I think he deserves a round of applause, absolutely. The Rising Star for the Neafl in 2018 saw weekly nominations of the best young talent. The criteria for selection was that players had to be under the age of 21 before the season started and had played fewer than 20 Neafl games. 2018 was another great season for young talent. Let's take a moment to look at the nominations.
In round 1, it was a 19-year-old young gun from Canberra who started his season on the right foot when Mitch Maguire polled 8 MVP votes to earn the season's first Rising Star nomination. In round 2, Redland midfielder Jack Rolls created further league history with an unprecedented 4th nomination after collecting a team-high 28 disposals against Sydney University. The comeback from an ACL injury was complete for Angus Baker in round 3 as he was one of Canberra's best against Redland in a big victory at Scottsdale Park. Round 4 was the moment Lions Academy member Ben Sloan caught the eye with 23 disposals and 2 goals against the Giants, earning the 18-year-old a nomination. Canberra made it 3 nominations in the first month when forward Mitch Hardy stole the show against Gold Coast, collecting 30 disposals and kicking the match-winning goal in the nation's capital. And promising Giants utility Riley Budd produced one of his best performances at senior level to earn the round 6 nomination with 31 disposals against Sydney. Round 7 saw Sydney Uni key defender Nathan Cooper at the top of the list with 10 spoils against Aspley in a tight 10-point victory. And Sydney Swan Academy member Bailey Stewart burst onto the scene in round 8 with 20 disposals and 2 goals in the Swans' win over Brisbane. The following week, Southport defender Dan Charlesworth produced a best-on-ground performance against the Gold Coast at Fankhauser Reserve to earn his club's first nomination of the season, followed by former Swans Academy member Will Gowers, who shone for his new club Aspley in round 10 after he was named among their best against NT Thunder. A second Southport defender in Ethan Reeves was next to earn a nomination in round 11 when the 20-year-old was one of the key instigators in the Sharks' win over the Bombers. Canberra yet again featured on the nominations list when fullback Alex Pake earned a nomination in round 10 with an important role in defence against Aspley, before Gold Coast Suns Academy member Brodie Foster was rewarded for his consistent season in round 13 following 22 disposals and 6 clearances against Redland. The next week, Sydney University midfielder Jake Bartholomeus' breakout season continued when he earned a nomination in the Students' tight loss to Canberra, and the Demons followed up in round 15 with their 5th nominee of the season, this time after Jared Osborne polled 9 MVP votes in a superb performance against the Bombers. Round 16 saw Giants Academy member James Peatling show his potential with 22 disposals and 2 goals against Brisbane, whilst Suns Academy member Harry Symington booted 4 goals in a starring role up forward in round 17. And Sydney University midfielder Callum McFadden produced his best performance of the year in round 18 to round out our list of nominees in 2018.
And the winner of the 2018 Tribal Sports Neafl Rising Star Award is Mitch Maguire from the Canberra Demons.
A key to Canberra's maiden finals appearance in 2018 has been the stunning rise of young midfielder Mitch Maguire.
A good tackle by Yagmore, but coming through nicely. That was Maguire there. He's following it up again. He'll just about get it again. In fact, he'll win the free kick. So well done, Mitch Maguire. He's had 18 disposals, coming up for 19, and he's going to find a target here in Aaron Bruce.
The boy from small Riverina town Marul has taken the competition by storm, where the 20-year-old averaged 27 disposals and 5 clearances per game. Goal-kicking midfielder with a hard work ethic, Maguire has left no stone unturned this year to keep his AFL dream alive.
Let's welcome Mitch Maguire to the stage. Now, Mitch, no great surprise, I suppose, in a lot of ways, given that you were the leader in the Neafl MVP before it went on behind closed doors after round 16. But it must be quite humbling seeing, I suppose, some of the talent on display from the other nominees.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was some really good names, obviously, in that list, and yeah, it's a real honour to win this award. So yeah.
Now, tell us a little bit of the small town you come from. What's the name of that one?
Yeah, so I'm from a little town in country New South Wales called Marul, just a little population of 21. So yeah, moved down to Canberra last year for uni and footy, obviously, and yeah, that's about all that's there. There's a pub, couple of silos, and that's about it. We have an annual silo kick every year there. To kick over the silos there, and when it gets a bit of cash, and that's about all that happens there, mate. Yeah.
Well, you did steal my thunder. I was going to ask if the Billy Brownless kick over the silo thing did occur. Did you manage to get it over the silo? Is probably the question I'll go with now.
Yeah, I kicked it over a couple of times last year, but my roommate who I live with actually won it last year. So yeah, I choked in the final, so that was no good. But yeah.
Well, the hometown, it must be quite amazing, because you run out on the field with 23, which is more than the population of the town you come from each week.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, yeah, it's pretty amazing, I suppose, but yeah, that's what it is. So.
Well, the birth rate must go up hopefully there sometime soon, and maybe you'll after footy career finishes, you might push it north. Yeah. Now, obviously, as the rising star, you'd have a lot of, I suppose, things you aspire to. Is AFL still very much firmly on your radar to keep improving in the way you're going?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I suppose anyone who plays Neafl sort of got it in the back of their mind still. Yeah, but once I'm just happy going out each week and sort of playing my role for the Demons, and whatever happens, happens. But I'm not too fussed. I'm enjoying my time in Canberra. I'm studying there as well, so that's good. And yeah, love the Demons, which is really good. But if something like that was to happen, it'd be great, obviously. But yeah, whatever happens, happens, mate. Yeah.
And of course, probably two-pronged question here. First of all, finals. It's a new experience for Canberra, coming up against Sydney Uni this week. It must be exciting for you personally, and the development your Canberra side has undertaken this year has been absolutely magnificent. And the job that you coach, Cade Klemke, or I always get tongue-tied and try to call him Clade Kempke. But yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. Obviously, it's the last 4 weeks we've obviously lost 4 in a row after our winning streak there through the middle of the year. But I think if we can get back to our best form, hopefully give Sydney Uni a shake. They're in some good form as well, as we know. But yeah, look, really exciting. I think everyone's going to be super excited to give Sydney Uni a good crack, and should be a good game hopefully there.
Well, best of luck. You're the leader on the MVP board. A little sneaky chance, do you think?
Nah, no chance, mate. I've barely got a kick since the voting closed off, I think. So I think Painey and Clayton have had really good years, so I think they'll be hard to stop. And Craig Bird's sort of finished off really well too, so I think they're my tips.
Well, over 500 possessions this year for Mitch Maguire, so he has had an absolutely magnificent year, and congratulations on being the rising star for 2018 in the Neafl.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Very impressive young man is Mitch, and congratulations to all the nominees for our Rising Star Award. Thank you to Tribal Sport for sponsoring that as well. Well, of course, we move on, and the next category I'd like to call forward the AFL State League and International Manager Simon Lawton to present the Leading Goal Kicker Award. And in 2018, congratulations to the leading goal kicker, Matt Hamilman from the Redland Bombers.
Former Brisbane Lion Matt Hamilman starred on numerous occasions in his return to the Redland Bombers this season.
It's an inside 50, bounces for Hamilman. What can the big fella do? Shows his poise and class and dribbles it through for his second goal.
A beautiful kick of the football and strong in the air, Hamilman averaged 3.5 goals per game in 2018 to take out his first Neafl leading goal kicker trophy.
He'll go the half forward. It's a bit of an up and under. Hamilman the target and Payne. But Hamilman, he set himself from the start, and this will be his shot and his first goal today. So Hamilman, he's kicked 33 goals this year. This is from 34. He started and left it, bent back. It was sensational. Redlands once again kicked the first goal of the term.
Hamilman kicked 5 or more goals on 6 occasions, including a season-high 9 majors against NT Thunder in round 4, to be one of the shining lights for Redland this year.
2 games, 2 goals to him today. And who does it? Grabs it again. He's got it again. Hamilman. It's the Matt Hamilman show here at Traeger Park.
Yeah, he hasn't missed. The blemishes he misses it. There you have it.
Doesn't miss. It's extraordinary. Unbelievable performance from him.
And Matt, 60 goals, 24 this year, so that certainly helped you along. What was the highlight in terms of goal kicking? Because there weren't many in terms of on the field with Redland too much this year, but obviously the NT Thunder game where you kicked 9 straight, I believe.
Yeah, I did. Obviously that was a highlight for the whole club there with the win. The only win of the year, which was a bit disappointing though. But obviously that was a highlight of the year, yeah.
And you're looking for my questions here, mate. You're not going to find them, and I'm going off the cuff, so no use looking down there. Matt, obviously the ball came down. You are a bit of a swing man, but you had a good partner in crime down there this year with Jackson Payne. How good was it, I suppose, to have that foil there that could take one of the extra other key defenders to give you a little bit of time and space?
Yeah, obviously Jackson Payne helped me out a fair bit this year. Sort of pushed him up a bit higher and took that long down the line kick, and then I was sort of that one in behind. So yeah, he helped me out a lot this year.
And is it Hammer's House, I believe, that was bandied around the Redland Bombers, being the leading goal kicker? Was that something that was bandied around at length, particularly after that NT Thunder game?
I could see Payne over there laughing his head off, but stitched me up there big time with that one.
Well, that wasn't Jackson Payne that told me that, by the way. So, obviously, you were a bit of a swing man when you were with the Brisbane Lions. You played down back, down forward. Obviously, with Coach Lee Harding, he's elected to plumb you up forward for the side. Aspirations to perhaps get back into the AFL system, or you're happy at the Neafl and want to keep kicking bag after bag and telling Lee Harding, don't move me from the goal square, from Hammer's house?
Obviously, there's aspirations to make the AFL again. I'd love a second chance, but this year at the Redlands, it's been very good. I've enjoyed my time there very much, and yeah.
Well, congratulations on winning the goal kicking here for the Neafl 2018, and we wish you the best in the off-season, and hopefully we'll see you back for another bag or two next year. Matt Hamilman, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's time for our Neafl Umpire of the Year. Can I now please call to the stage Damien Anderson, State Umpiring Manager of New South Wales ACT, and James Waldorf, State Umpiring Manager Queensland, to the stage. And they do deserve a round of applause, I might add. Well, it's one thing for sure, our game simply wouldn't happen each week without the dedication and passion by our umpiring squad. They also travel around the different states and territories to officiate our matches. It's my pleasure to announce the 2018 Umpires of the Year. The Boundary Umpire of the Year, Alex Donoghue. The Goal Umpires of the Year, Taylor Matoli. Hopefully I said that one right. Taylor, congratulations. Matalini, I believe, so my apologies, Taylor. And the joint winners of our 2018 Field Umpires of the Year, Andrew Adair and Nick McGuinness. I might ask Nick to come over and have a few words when he's ready. Put one of the umpires under the spotlight. Well done. Now, Nick, bit of a thankless job at times, but the dedication that you and your fellow umpires show in training each week is amazing, and it is probably as much of an effort, if not more, than what the players put in terms of the hours, the physical conditioning, and obviously the decision-making skills that you have to bring to it.
Absolutely, yeah. So we all of us here and those around the Neafl competition as well, we train a couple of times a week, and quite a lot of us do stuff outside of that as well. So yeah, we make sure that come game day, we're in top condition just as the players are. And like the players, I suppose it's we don't get it right every week, and I do want to say that I don't think I've seen any perfect players out there. So the umpires, obviously, there's a lot of coaching that goes on behind the scenes, and we certainly saw your coaches, your state umpiring managers, play a big role. How much time behind the scenes goes into looking at those decision-making attributes and fine-tuning what we see on game day? Yeah, so speaking from a field umpire's perspective, we each review our own games in our own time afterwards, and then we have to send a self-assessment to our coaches, basically rating ourselves on how we went, and then we have a conversation with them during the week about certain decisions or other things about our umpiring performance that we can improve on for next week's game.
And I'm not going to ask you for a tip on the grand final and who's going to win, but one thing I do want to ask you is the best game that you believe you've umpired this year at Neafl level. Any ideas of who that was?
Good question.
Thank you. I prepared it. Or in fact, I'm actually going off the cuffs, so I didn't prepare it.
I think there was a Giants Swans game earlier in the year that came right down to the wire, and as umpires, we really like those games where it gets really close, because that's what we train for when we want to perform. So we really relish those situations as well, and thrive in those situations.
Well, best of luck for the final series, and like I suppose players, it's selection is paramount, and all the umpires up here tonight are rightly awarded. But the task goes on to make sure that you can obviously stay at a high level to hopefully get those finals performances. So best of luck to you, Nick, and also all of your umpires, your fellow umpires, and I think we should give them a big round of applause. Well, ladies and gents, we will now have a 45-minute break for the main course. We'll be back at around 8 o'clock with a presentation of the 2018 Neafl Team of the Year. And as we go to the break, let's see how the MVP played out over rounds 5 to 8.
Neafl MVP rounds 5 to 8. Sydney and Astley played out a thriller in round 5 at the SCG, where James Nellis took a steppy in his one.
Slamming into forward 50 and a terrific mark from the Astley Hornets player.
And Matthew Payne slotted the seal.
Thought originally maybe a banana kick, but he might kick straight here, Payne. Now he goes to banana and gets the goal.
Sydney midfielder Dan Robinson polled 9 votes after 34 disposals, 10 clearances and 2 goals in the Swans' 1-point loss.
Oh, you little beauty!
Down in Canberra, Rising Star nominee Mitch Harvey polled 10 votes for 30 disposals and 2 goals, the latter from the boundary, sealing the 29-point win over Gold Coast. Southport midfielder Josh Clayton also polled 10 votes for his best of field performance in the Sharks' big win over the Giants.
In round 6, Aspley midfielder Reece Toy was the only player to poll maximum votes after starring against Redland in a 47-point win.
Andrew Boston extended his lead at the top of the board with a further 8 votes against NT Thunder, where the Sharks co-captain collected 31 disposals and 12 clearances.
The clearance machine! The kicking machine that is Andrew Boston.
Nick Blakey kicked his first goal in his debut Neafl match for Sydney in round 7, as Robinson and Newman attracted 8 votes each in the Swans' win over Southport. Mitch Maguire moved to within striking distance of Boston with maximum votes against the Giants, where he collected 34 disposals and 2 goals. Andrew Swallow was also a big mover of the round, moving to 5th after 10 votes for his 40 disposals and 14 clearances against Sydney Uni.
Yep, another clearance.
The following week, Brisbane midfielder Tom Bell jumped to equal leader after a huge 42 disposals and 9 clearances against Sydney.
Does it? Cut off by Malone, got a kick to half forward. Isaac coming! Flew for a long time, the Broken Hill Flyer.
But he also polled 9 votes after amassing 36 disposals, 10 marks and 2 goals. At the end of round 8, Boston and Bell shared top spot on the leaderboard, followed by Maguire in 3rd and Young a further 6 votes behind in 4th.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll ask you to take your seats so we can move on with the rest of the presentations for this evening. Thanks everybody, I hope you enjoyed your main meals. Before we move on to the Neafl Team of the Year, I was just having a chat with Mark Browning, the State Talent Manager for Queensland, New South Wales, and he asked me to pass on his regards to all the clubs and thanks for continuing to promote youth on your lists and the way you're going about it. We keep seeing wonderful players come through at each of the clubs that we can promote to be hopeful draftees come the end of the year and each and every year. So thank you on behalf of Mark Browning and Darren Denneman for that. I think that deserves a round of applause right there. Right now I'd like to call on the AFL New South Wales ACT CEO, Sam Graham, and I'll ask him to come forward to present the Team of the Year awards. The 2018 Neafl Team of the Year was selected by a panel which awarded players based on performance in their primary positions over the season and in accordance with nominations by clubs and champion data statistics. We'll present the Team of the Year in 4 blocks: the defenders, midfielders, forwards and the interchange and coach. If I call your name, can you please make your way up to the stage and remain on the stage until the whole team has been announced? For those players not in attendance, there is no need for a club representative to come to the stage. Now, firstly, let's start with the defenders, and when your name is read out, let's get you up on stage. And all the winners stay up here, as I mentioned. Let's kick off with our defenders. In the back pocket, Ryan Hebron from Sydney University. Earning his 2nd consecutive Neafl Team of the Year selection is young Sydney University defender Ryan Hebron, the 21-year-old on his breakout 2017 season where he ranked number 1 in the competition for marks. With an average of 20 disposals, 8.5 marks and 4.5 rebound 50s, all career highs, Hebron has established himself as one of the Neafl's top defenders. At full back, and again for the second time, Adrian Williams from the Redland Bombers. Another player to earn the 2nd consecutive Neafl Team of the Year selection is Redland fullback Adrian Williams, the reigning Dowling medalist for the Bombers, best and fairest. Williams was once again his formidable best deep in defence in 2018. Williams was ranked number 2 in the competition for contested marks and also averaged 4.8 rebound 50s per game. And in the other back pocket, from the Sydney Swans, Colin O'Riordan. The Sydney defender, his hard work in the Neafl over the past few seasons paid off in 2018 when the Irish recruit made his long-awaited AFL debut. His selection was warranted off the back of several starring performances in the Neafl, where the 22-year-old played 14 games and was named amongst Sydney's best in 10 of them. This is his 2nd Neafl Team of the Year selection after his first in 2016 in what was his first ever season of AFL football. On the halfback flank, the evergreen Cameron Eilert from the NT Thunder. Eilert's decision to backflip on retirement plans paid off in 2018 with the NT Thunder veteran once again proving he's still at the top of his game. On one of our greatest ever players, 33-year-old Eilert averaged 21 disposals in a new role off half-back, as well as 6.5 marks and 4.5 rebound 50s this season, and was ranked 2nd in the competition for total tackles. This is Eilert's 7th Neafl Team of the Year selection from 8 seasons, which is a remarkable achievement. And of course, Cameron's not with us tonight. No doubt to be watching, so well done to you, Cameron. At centre-half back, from the Brisbane Lions, Liam Dawson. A well-deserved selection at centre-half back. His Brisbane's Liam Dawson. At 22 years of age, Dawson is already a two-time Neafl Premiership player, having tasted the ultimate success with Aspley in 2014 and again with the Lions in 2017. This year, Dawson is in career best form and has been one of Brisbane's best contributors in the Neafl with an average of 17 disposals, a little over 7 marks and 3 rebound 50s per game. And on the other halfback is Adam Goulden from Sydney University. Adam was one of Sydney Uni's last signings in the 2018 list, but he certainly hit the ground running from the very start. The 27-year-old recruit from South Adelaide averaged 21 disposals, 4 rebounds for the Students. A New South Wales product who was a former member of the Swans Academy, Goulden averaged just under 100 champion data ranking points this year. That's our back line. I might call Adam over to answer a few questions, and he looks very surprised. No, you didn't get stitched up by anyone. If you can blame anybody, it's probably Jess Webster, the Neafl media manager. Obviously an honour. It's good to be back in what is your homeland, and 7 seasons away, was it, down at South Adelaide in the SANFL?
Just the 4, but it felt like 7
My facts,
being in Adelaide that long. So.
Always feels like 7 in Adelaide.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But no.
Well done to all the SA people watching too.
Thoroughly enjoyed my time down there. But yeah, obviously motivation to come home, friends and family back in Sydney was pretty strong. So, and really rapt to come and play Neafl footy at Sydney Uni this year. So.
And most of the students out there at Sydney Uni, you're undertaking a bit of study out there, or your other endeavours?
No, I wrapped it up before I came back, which was nice. But yeah, it was more so just knew a few of the boys at Sydney Uni and probably had the desire to still play at a reasonable level. And obviously the footy club provided that, and yeah, had a really enjoyable time, really good bunch of players and coaching staff and support staff.
And you seem like quite a versatile player. I've seen you sort of work through the middle of the ground as well. Where's the preference playing? And you're allowed to be pretty honest here. The coach is listening with finals upon us.
Oh, probably full forward, but no, it was definitely half back. Played a little bit all over the ground my career, and sort of said to Morrow and Lloyd when I first arrived that I wanted to settle down in one position, and they said, look, we think half back would be a good spot for you. So yeah, it's definitely my preferred spot now.
Well, congratulations on your selection, and I'll let you join your fellow defenders over there.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. And we'll move on to our midfield group. On the wing, Josh Clayton from Southport. Earning his place on the wing in this year's Team of the Year is Southport ball magnet Josh Clayton. The former Brisbane Lion midfielder produced career best numbers in his first season for Southport, averaging 29 disposals, nearly 5 clearances and over 5 inside 50s per game. Clayton was ranked number 1 in the competition for total disposals and 2nd for inside 50s. In the centre, and our captain of the Neafl Team of the Year, Matthew Payne from Aspley. Well, there seems to be no slowing down for the Aspley veteran Matthew Payne, who has been named in the Neafl Team of the Year every season he has played. This time, he has taken it a step further by being named as captain. Already a 2-time Neafl MVP winner, Payne is in contention for a 3rd MVP award after a season where the 32-year-old was ranked number 2 in the competition for champion data ranking points, averaging 29 disposals and over 6 clearances, with his 7th Neafl Team of the Year selection only adding to his incredible legacy in our competition. On the other wing, he's joined by a teammate at Aspley in Ben Warren. And of course, Ben is the Aspley co-captain, has flourished in his move further up the ground in 2018 to be one of the key playmakers for the Hornets. The 29-year-old's leadership has shone in a season where the former North Melbourne forward booted 26 goals and averages 20 disposals and a little over 6 marks in his role on the wing. And as we do with the midfield, we'll go with our on-ballers. In the ruck, from the Sydney Swans, Darcy Cameron. Darcy has produced one of the best seasons by a ruckman in the Neafl's history to earn his place in this year's Team of the Year. The 23-year-old second-year draftee led the competition in Champion Data ranking points with an astonishing average of 154 per game. Cameron was also ranked first in contested marks, fourth in contested possessions, hit-outs and hit-outs to advantage, as well as kicking 23 goals from his 17 games. Cameron also made his AFL debut this year to give the Swans fans a glimpse of his exciting future. At Ruck Rover, from Aspley, Andrew Swallow. Andrew made national headlines when he chose Aspley as his next destination following his AFL career with North Melbourne, and he certainly didn't disappoint in the Neafl this year. Swallow ranked number 1 in the competition for contested possessions and total clearances in a season where the former Kangaroos captain averaged 25 disposals, 60% of which were contested, 5.5 tackles and 7 clearances to play a key role in the Hornets' midfield. And at Rover, it's our Neafl rising star, Mitch Maguire from Canberra Demons. Breakout seasons certainly don't come much better than what Canberra midfielder Mitch Maguire produced in 2018. The Neafl rising star winner featured among the Demons' best players 12 times from his 18 games to earn his first Team of the Year selection. At just 20 years of age, Maguire averaged 27 disposals, 4.7 clearances to be the key ingredient in Canberra's rise up the ladder. And that's our midfielders, and we might, I'm not sure who wants to be picked on, but it says right here I need to call out Darcy Cameron to have a few words. Well done. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, mate. Congratulations, and it's a long way from WA here, but second year, and it must be really gratifying not only to be up here tonight in this Neafl Team of the Year, but to make your AFL debut.
Yeah, it was. It's an honour to be up here, obviously, and it was a pretty. I'm pretty glad with the year I've had, and to be named here with all these great names as well is a massive honour.
And to obviously make the AFL debut would have been a very exciting experience. And what was it like, I suppose, running out, knowing that the ball's going to go up in the air and you're the first one that's got to try and touch it in the game? How are the nerves?
Yeah, nerves are pretty high. Yeah, like I said, it's a huge honour, but obviously it didn't go the way as planned. But just to get that one on the board was pretty special.
And one of the great features that I certainly recognise that in your play this year, it's not only your tap work, but it's around the ground to be able to kick goals, take contested marks. You've been an absolute force. Is it something at training that you as a ruckman work on to not only be around those clearances and the stoppage work, but to make an impact further around the ground?
Yeah, it's something I try to work on as much as possible. Obviously, I want to be able to get my hands on the ball first and feed the midfielders, but also do a bit of work around the ground as well.
And how do you reckon you go with a couple of these midfielders floating around you?
Yeah, it'd be pretty easy, I reckon.
Well, well done on your selection and Team of the Year, and we'll push on with our forward line.
Yeah.
Thanks, Darcy. At half forward, thank you for preempting it, from Canberra Demons, Mitch Hardy. In just his second year on Canberra's list, the Riverina product Mitch Hardy earned his first Neafl Team of the Year selection after impressing on numerous occasions throughout the year. The 21-year-old earned a Rising Star nomination in round 5 in a best-on-ground display against the Gold Coast. Playing across half forward, Hardy averaged 20 disposals and over a goal a game in taking his game to a new level in 2018. At centre half forward, a great achievement, Jackson Payne from the Redland Bombers. There aren't too many players in the Neafl who strike fear in the opposition's eyes quite like Redland forward Jackson Payne. Renowned for his strength in contests and ability to cover the ground, Payne averaged 105 Champion Data ranking points this year, the highest average of any key forward in the Neafl. More than half of his average 21 disposals were contested, and Payne also had no trouble finding the goals with 30 majors from 17 games. And on the other half-forward flank, From Southport, Michael Mantee. One of Southport's most valuable recruits in 2018 has been former Sydney University player Michael Mantee. At just 22 years of age, he averaged the 5th highest champion data ranking points of any player in the Neafl this year with 112. His average of 25 disposals and at an impressive 75% efficiency has been a key factor in Southport's success this year. And in the forward pocket, he's joined by his teammate, Tom Wilkinson. Earning his place in the forward pocket in the Neafl Team of the Year is another Southport recruit in Tom Wilkinson. The 22-year-old was named among the Sharks' best 10 times from his 16 matches with 33 goals to his name. Wilkinson is ranked the #1 small forward in the Neafl with an average of 93 champion data ranking points per game. At full forward, it's no real surprise here, Matthew Hamilman from Redland. (2018) leading goal kicker Matt Hamilman rightly assumes his place at full forward in this year's Team of the Year. The former Brisbane Lions swingman was one of the shining lights for Redland with 60 goals at 72% accuracy, a remarkable feat from a team which finished on the bottom of the ladder. Hamilman also averaged 5 marks per game and proved tough to beat on many occasions this year. And in the other forward pocket, from Sydney University, Tom Young. A proven match winner for a number of seasons, Sydney University utility Tom Young relished his forward role in 2018. The 2015 Neafl MVP winner is hard to match up on with his footy smarts and star quality. He kicked 23 goals from 16 games and had 21 score assists and averaged 22 disposals and 4.5 hard ball gets to once again prove he is one of the competition's biggest stars. We might call over Mitch Hardy for a bit of a chat on this group. He's looking forward to it. I can see it in his eyes. Firstly, congratulations. I've got to ask, mate, the idea for the headband that you're playing looks special out there. You've got a fair mop. How do you tie that back of a weekend? Is there a bit more that goes into it?
No, I usually just let it go pretty free, really. It's not something I pay too much attention to. A lot of people kind of mistake me for a beach man, but from the middle of the country with Mitch Maguire, so it's just one of those things.
Now let's, from the Riverina, I believe you had a bit of an interesting story. How did your story at the Canberra Demons come about? Did you just ask for a trial? Did I hear that story right, or were you invited to come down by the coach?
Yeah, one of my really good mates that I grew up playing footy with, Lucas Moline, was already at the Demons for a year, and just so happened that he got talking with Cade, and I was kind of on my way to uni elsewhere, and yeah, he rang me one day whilst I was at work on my gap year sort of thing and said, would you like to come up and give it a go? And yeah, I kind of played a bit of footy with a lot of Neafl boys from Queanbeyan, so I kind of thought it was a bit above me at the time, but yeah, it's been a great experience the last 2 years, so yeah.
Certainly like a goal, and you're happy to wander far afield. What's been probably the #1 thing that you've worked on probably in the last 12 months at probably taking you to the level you're at now to gain, a selection this Neafl Team of the Year?
Yeah, Cade's kind of just given me the freedom to, work up the ground and play almost as another on-baller at times. Yeah, and he's been fantastic in my development. If I pinpointed anyone, it'd be Cade, just to give the freedom and, give me the chance to just express the way, I play footy. And yeah, it's been a fantastic ride the last couple of years, and yeah, it definitely goes down to Cade, just giving the freedom. Yeah.
And obviously, just one last one for you. Finals this week. You're quite a young side, and we've seen, I suppose, probably a few performances not go the way of the Canberra Demons. Can you get yourselves up this week to really challenge Sydney Uni?
Yeah, I hope so. It's obviously it was a fantastic ride, through the middle of the year with those 8 straight wins or something like that. And last month hasn't been ideal, but it's one of those things that as a young team, it's going to be a learning curve either way, whether we can get up against Sydney Uni this weekend or we can't. we know that it's going to be a tough game. The last 2 years I've been here, I've only beaten them once, and we know what to expect. If we can bring our A game on Saturday, I can't see why we can't beat them, but, I think we all know it's going to be a tough game. So.
Well, we're looking forward to that clash, and congratulations on your selection of the Team of the Year.
Thanks so much.
Now let's go to our interchange bench and our coach for our Neafl Team of the Year. We'll finish this off. From the Aspley Football Club, Jake Spencer. So ruckman Jake Spencer certainly made his presence felt at Aspley this year to consistently give the star-studded Hornets midfield first use of the football. The former Melbourne ruckman ranked number 1 in the Neafl for hit-outs and hit-outs to advantage, and was named among the Hornets' best 12 times from 17 games. Only 2 players, Matt Payne and Darcy Cameron, had more champion data rankings points than Spencer. Next on the bench, or the interchange, from the NT Thunder, A Bankers. A well-deserved debut selection in the Neafl Team of the Year goes to NT Thunder midfielder A Bankers. Twice this season, Ankers broke into the top 10 highest individual contested possession tallies in Neafl history in a superb season. Overall, Ankers averaged 26 disposals, 7 clearances, 6 inside 50s, as well as hitting the scoreboard with 16 goals. Abe was well up there with the very best in 2018, where he was ranked 4th in the competition for disposals, 3rd for contested possessions, 13 clearances, and 1st for inside 50s. Next, from Sydney Uni, Craig Bird. He's the newly crowned clearance king of the Neafl. He dominated this season despite being restricted to 13 games. The 29-year-old ended up 2nd for total clearances behind Andrew Swallow with an average of 9.5, even breaking the record for the most in a game with 20 clearances against Canberra in round 20. On top of this, Bird averaged 30 disposals, 7 tackles and 124 champion data ranking points per game to earn his place in the Neafl Team of the Year. Next, from the Gold Coast Suns, Jacob Dawson. Gold Coast draftee Jacob Dawson showed his bright future on numerous occasions in 2018, with his impressive Neafl performances earning the 18-year-old an AFL debut. Dawson was named among the Suns' best 12 times from 15 games, averaging 30 disposals and 6.5 tackles and nearly 6 clearances per game. Dawson even captained the side on occasion during the Neafl season, and we have no doubt we'll see plenty more of this young talent in years to come. And lastly, on the bench, from GWS, Aidan Bonner. The Giants draftee Aidan left no doubt in the minds of football fans that he has what it takes to make it at the elite level, with several dominant performances in the midfield this year. Like Dawson, Bonner also earned an AFL debut off the back of his superb work at Neafl level. The 19-year-old averaged 21 disposals, 60% of which were contested, over 6 tackles and 6.5 clearances and 4.5 inside 50s over 14 games to set him apart from the rest. So that's our side. And the coach of the Neafl Team of the Year, from Southport, Stephen Daniel. He was touted as the best off-field signing for the Southport Sharks, and it certainly paid off for the club as they won the Neafl Minor Premiership for the first time. Stephen Daniel helped guide the Sharks back to its powerhouse status in 2018, taking the team from 9th to 1st on the ladder with a refreshed coaching lineup and numerous quality recruits. the Sharks also produced 2 Tribal Sport Neafl Rising Star nominees and remain just 1 victory away from a maiden grand final berth. Players rest easy. I might call Steve Daniel to come over and have a few words. Let's welcome him to the microphone.
I'll just have a look at that photo. How bad was that? Crikey.
Now, mates, and again, no questions here, so I'm going off the cuff. I think before the first game, round 1, I described Southport as being an area of great style, but the Southport Sharks were like a turnstile. Such was the turnover of players this year. I think you had 15 or 16 new recruits as well as a new coaching staff. How tough was it bringing that and making them, your side gel, which they did very quickly into the year?
Look, it was really tough. I'm not going to lie. Even tough for us, I suppose, and there's no disrespect to Southport, but even when I was looking at going there, like they didn't have, I suppose, a great reputation of what they'd been through over the last couple of years. So it was a tough decision to leave at the time at the Suns and go across there, and then obviously we sat down, and I suppose as a group there, we had to make the decision that I think we got rid of 20. So we virtually, which is really tough, you had to sit there and just say, we'll get rid of that one, we'll get rid of that one, and it was all about culture. That's what we wanted to change, and obviously, well, we can look back now, we obviously made the right decision. So it's been really good, and look, the group's been really great, and it's great for me to be up here, but if it wasn't for a couple of coaches that I've got with me, of course, in Skinny Lappin and Ace, and Simon Fletcher, of course, who helps out with leading teams, we probably wouldn't be where we are. It's been a group effort, and also to the playing group. Like, there's some meetings probably go a little bit too long, and I know all the players here hate their meetings, but we've got to teach and we've got to learn, and at times we probably keep them there a little bit longer, but they're willing to learn, and they've been terrific, so they hold a lot for it as well.
And obviously for you, Neafl Coach of the Year, but the job's not done after tonight, because obviously a great achievement to finish at the minor premiership. What does the next, I suppose, fortnight hold for you now that you don't have a game in this coming week? How do you condition your players, and how do you get them up for no doubt what will be a big challenge coming up against the winner of Aspley and the Brisbane Lions?
Certainly, the week off would have come at a really good time for a lot of our boys. We're a little bit wounded at the moment, so we'll sit back and we'll go to Graham Road and have a look what happens on the weekend. Mind you, Blair, I hate that ground. We just can't win there. So I'm not looking forward to going down there, even though I'm not even playing. But we'll go down there and have a bit of a look, and we'll see who we come up against, and then we'll just take it from there. But we do need the week off, so that was pretty important for us. And we'll sit back, and obviously the winner of that we'll have to play. So then we'll start preparing accordingly.
Now, you've come out of the AFL system recently, a stint with the Gold Coast Suns, and before that, you were down in the QAFL with Labrador, I believe. And I suppose what's the difference is having gone from a community club to an AFL club and now into the Neafl, because obviously there's some standard jumps both ways there.
Oh, look, it's massive. I look at the way the game has changed from when I arrived at the Gold Coast Suns from 10 years ago when I was working at the Carlton Footy Club, just the way tactically and the way the game's changed, so to speak. It's just huge. So Neafl from the AFL, in all honesty, and I know there's a lot of quality coaches in the room, so they'll be coaching no different to the way we are. It's still AFL. You might call it the Neafl, but it's still AFL standard, the way they're coaching and the way it's all done. It's a terrific league. It's great to be involved in. So you go back to quaffle level when you're back there, and it's completely different. You got blokes that I suppose pick and choose when they want to train. They just rock up when they want to. Where here, I wouldn't mind having this side run out with me every week. It'd be pretty good. They're all elite. They want to get the best out of themselves, and I suppose that's what's great about it.
And you mentioned this side. It must be pretty humbling to be up here for one, but certainly the cattle that are up here are first class in our competition.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You know, you come up against most of these players every week, and you've got to try and work out, obviously, how to beat them. So it's tough. So I wouldn't mind coaching this every week. Let me tell you.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for your time. Best of luck over the next few weeks as you obviously strive to do the double, the Coach of the Year, and hopefully, being a premiership coach, which is the ultimate goal.
We won't get too carried away. We'll just see how we go, and we've got a couple of important games. Well, an important game coming up in 2 weeks. So hopefully we get over that, whoever we play, but we'll just cross that bridge when it comes.
Okay, thank you, and thanks to Steve, Daniel.
Thanks, Steve.
And ladies and gents, I'd like you to keep the applause going and congratulate all the players up here on their selection in the 2018 Neafl Team of the Year. Thanks, guys.
You're free. Thanks, mate. Well done.
And ladies and gents, while our players head back to their seats, it's now time to catch up on the Neafl MVP award voting from rounds 9 to 12 inclusive.
Daniel Lawton brought Friday night action to life with an extraordinary goal against Sydney to kick off round 9.
Long towards the hot spot. Bouncing through. Ha ha ha! You little ripper, Damien Body. He's best.
Swans Academy member Bailey Stewart put himself into Neafl rising star contention after 9 votes for his 25 disposals and 3 goals as the students' undefeated run came to an end.
Oh, that's pretty to watch from the Swans.
Two-time MVP winner Matthew Payne was the big mover of the round, polling maximum votes as he starred in the Hornets' 19-point victory over Brisbane. Gold Coast midfielder Michael Barlow joined the top 10 leaderboard for the first time this season, attracting 10 votes after a mammoth 42 disposals against Southport.
9-9 finds his teammate in power.
The competition for MVP honours certainly heated up in round 10, with Payne and Southport's Josh Clayton each polling 10 votes in their respective matches, and Canberra's Mitch Maguire attracting 8 votes in the Demons' win over defending Premier Brisbane. The following week, Maguire became the new MVP award leader after earning 7 votes in the Demons' win over NT Thunder in freezing conditions in the nation's capital. Clayton jumped to a season-high 2nd place after attracting 8 votes in the Sharks' win over Redland.
Clayton, he just doesn't mind racking them up.
As Dan Robinson polled 8 to sit in 5th place on the leaderboard after 38 disposals and 14 clearances against the Gold Coast. Sydney University duo Ryan Hebron and Craig Bird shared the most votes, with 7 each in the students' 13-point loss to Aspley at Blacktown, where Ben Warren also pulled up a miracle goal from the boundary.
Has picked up out the back by Warren, drop punt on the way. Oh, don't tell me, a freakish effort from Ben Warren for the Hornets.
In round 12, Payne and Maguire went head-to-head at South Pine Sports Complex as the leaderboard began to take shape at the midway stage of the season.
Run of Payne, his full measure from 45 metres. No issues there for Matthew Payne. He puts it through for his first major of the afternoon.
Maguire, 20, holds 7 votes in the Demons' 33-point victory, but Payne stole the show with 9 votes after 39 disposals, 11 clearances, 9 inside 50s and 2 goals. Meanwhile, Giants midfielder Harry Perryman was a clear standout performer in the round, polling the maximum 10 votes for his 34 disposals and 4 goals against Brisbane at the Gabba.
Perryman slops one home.
At the end of round 12, Maguire held a 4-vote lead over Payne, with Clayton another 4 votes behind in 5th, and Boston and Robinson making up the top 5.
Well, we're getting almost to the pointy end of the Neafl MVP as we see Mitch Maguire still holding a 4-vote lead. Matty Payne hot on his heels after a good 4 rounds there. Josh Clayton well in the hunt with 50 votes. His teammate, the Mexican wrestler, Andrew Boston, only 4 behind him, and Dan Robinson, who had a fantastic season for the Swans, 41 votes, with Tom Bell, who unfortunately got injured in the latter part of the season, on 40. Well, a special part of our night is talking about those players that achieve fantastic milestones. And just to help me do the presentations for this, can I please ask AFL State League and International Manager Simon Lawton to return to the stage to present our 100-Game Player Awards. As the Neafl enters the finals race of its 8th season, the history of this youthful competition is developing more with each passing year. Milestones should definitely be recognised and congratulated. This evening, we're proud to recognise and express gratitude to the service of some of the esteemed players of the competition by acknowledging their 100th game. Tonight, 6 players will join the 25 competition greats as Neafl Centurions. Playing State League football is a significant commitment, it must be said. For State League players, juggling work, family, study and football is commendable beyond words. However, playing Neafl is undoubtedly another step up again. The commitment and dedication required to become a Neafl Centurion is all the more impressive given the very nature and challenges of this competition. No other state league in competition in the country requires a player to get on a plane between 5 and 7 times per season, take Fridays off work to do so, spend time away from family, catch the red eye in or out of Darwin, travelling by bus from the Gold Coast to Brisbane and then catching a plane to play football. We are proud to congratulate and express gratitude for the pioneers of the Neafl as we honour our 100-game players. Can I please ask the players in attendance tonight, Austin Lucy and Josh Baxter, to come to the stage to collect their award as we announce our Centurions on screen.
Centurions. Ryan Holman, Morningside and Athlete, Elimination Final 2017.
Challenging kick for the Hornets. It's on its way. And it is there. Another goal for the Hornets. And it'll be the Ryan Holman show that gets the goal.
Austin Lucy, Morningside, Athlete and Sydney University, Round 2, 2018.
Kick to the top of the goal square. Lucy again, beautiful mark. 10 out and will surely go back and kick Sydney Uni 6 goals. He should stop this run of Lions goals. Comes in, drop punt all the way. Goal umpire doesn't move. He's kicked his second in a very effective first half of footy.
James Nellis, Athlete, Round 5, 2018.
And he wants another shot at the pot. Hornets battling for the football. Great work from James Nellis in some space. He bangs it 4 suburbs away. And the Hornets, they're bouncing now.
Ben Rioli, NT Thunder, Round 8, 2018.
Richard Tamley, he's been a great player for them. Here's Ben Rioli on the bounce. Steps 1, steps 2, gets inside 50. He can go all the way. Go all the way, Ben. Runs in, kicks a goal, and has he got it? I reckon he has. That was a long run here. Look at him. He's exuberant. He's excited. He's thrilled with a fantastic effort.
Josh Baxter, Southport, Round 19, 2018.
2-on-1, tries to take the mark. It falls over the back. Baxter must kick it, and he does kick it. So just like that, really out of nothing, it's back to 21 points. 8, 10, 58, 5, 7, 37.
Mitch Thompson, Sydney and Sydney University, Round 21, 2018.
You see along the boundary line, the little kick. And then just kick around the body. That will go. I reckon that's a goal. There's no one can touch that. That was a terrific kick. Thompson, I think it might be Mitchell Thompson.
We might get both gents over here to answer a few questions. Let's welcome them to the microphone. Now, I'm not sure who I should start with. Josh, we might start with you actually, mate. Give you the microphone. Now, goal-kicking machine at Labrador, and before that at Southport. You've come back into the Neafl with Southport, and I think, am I fair to say that you probably took maybe a little bit of time to find that rhythm again at Neafl level again, but I must say that this year particularly, I think you've been absolutely superb in what you've done. Is it adjusting back to it, or is it something you've had to work harder coming back into the Neafl after that time away?
Yeah, thank you for your kind words. Obviously, yeah, it took me a little bit of time because I may have got a few little bad habits going back and a little bit lazy, but obviously ever since I left, going to Labrador and then coming back, the league obviously grew a lot as well, and the standard obviously was risen. So I had to try and find that level again. So yeah, it took me a little bit while to get to that stage.
And I think you've come back a different player. I think in your first stint with Southport, you were very much that traditional centre-half forward of stand and deliver and try and take those contested marks. Now we're seeing you run up the ground and be that linking player at half forward. Has that taken a little bit of time to adjust to as well?
Yeah, it has, but obviously the game style of the footy these days has changed a fair bit as well, and my role revolves around what the team wants and team needs. So I need to change the way I played. It's not just stay at home in the forward 50 anymore, and so I have to do a lot more running, and I've had to adapt.
And what does playing 100 games for you mean at Neafl level? It's a great achievement. We all are here acknowledging that. But for you personally, what does it mean to you?
It's pretty special because obviously I didn't actually know I'd get to this point. But to have a club like Southport take me in and with such rich culture, and obviously the Neafl, the way it is now these days with such high standards, it's pretty special.
Well done to you, mate. I must say, best dressed as far as I'm concerned too.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done. Austin, we'll move to you. Not quite the best dressed.
Kanga? Lamb suit, I thought it was.
Yeah. Now, Austin, it's fair to say that I've known you since you're a young man, and we go back to the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and you found yourself on an AFL list at Essendon. Didn't quite make it on that occasion. You were blooded as a key defender. You've gone on to Morningside. You played premierships there. Aspley, premiership there, and now Sydney University. You have such a rich history and a vein of how you've cultivated your career. What's been the secret to keeping it all flowing for you?
Jeez, yeah, you make me sound really old when you go through all
You
those.
are, mate, you are.
I think, as Josh would know, and all the guys out there, 100-game players, it does take a lot of dedication and hard work. It's you can't just rock up like you could 10 years ago and play footy. You've really got to live it every week. You got to look after your body. You got to commit to it, and that year in year out is really difficult. But it does give you a lot of payback in the end. So I think to really love it and to really get up to training, now watch the footage, keep yourself in good nick. That's probably the main thing that I really love about it, but it's a big challenge.
I do remember that you do like a good time away from football, and I think we're friends on social media, and I see some of the efforts that you put in away from football. How have you changed as you got older in terms of having to prepare? And I suppose, without being rude about it, I mean, footballers at Neafl level, they have to really pull their head in to make sure they get the rewards.
Yeah, definitely. Like I mentioned earlier, I think maybe 5 or 6 years ago you could afford to probably, I suppose, eat a little bit worse and go out for more drinks on the weekend than you can now. I think really even from last year, this year I had to lose another 2 kilos to be able to run at the level that you need to run at. So I think just year on year it's just evolving, and the way that the AFL is at the top level, it's filtering down into the Neafl. So you really got to look after yourself and try to improve every year, and otherwise you'll just be out. So.
And like a question to Josh, what does 100 games to mean to you? It hasn't been with the one club, obviously, but it's a wonderful achievement, and clearly you're very comfortable at Sydney University, fitting into what is a great culture, and certainly as a tall midfielder who can push forward or go and be that Mr. Fix-It.
Yeah, look, upon reflection, probably one of the highlights of your career, the highlights have obviously been the premierships, and those nights after the premierships is something that you always remember. But to play 100 games, when you look back at it, it's a really good reflection on a lot of hard work and a lot of determination to get through those tough times, and the times that you probably could say, had enough. But in 10 years' time from now, you'll look back at it and you'll think, geez, I could keep playing another year. So I think when you look back at it, that will be probably one of the memorable things.
Well, on behalf of everybody at the Neafl, to Josh and you, Austin, and all those Centurions, congratulations on that magnificent achievement, and best of luck to you both in the finals campaign. I'm looking forward to it because it'll be absolutely spectacular, this finals campaign in the Neafl this year. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, ladies and gents, I see the dessert is being served. We'll have a short break and we'll be back at 9 p.m, which is a little over 10 minutes, with the presentations of the 2018 Neafl MVP Award. As we go to the break, let's see how the Neafl, the MVP played out over rounds 13 to 16.
Aspley co-captain Matthew Payne soared to first place on the Neafl MVP leaderboard in round 13 for the first time this season, polling 6 votes after a game-high 28 disposals in the Hornets' 40-point loss to the Giants. Nick Shipley attracted 8 votes, even showing off his skill with a bender from the pocket at Spotless Stadium. The following week, Southport midfielder Josh Clayton collected 5 votes as Southport pulled off a thrilling 2-point win over Brisbane.
9th win of the season.
Abraham Ankers continued his fine season for NT Thunder, polling 9 votes in their win over Redland. Not to be outdone, teammate Liam Patrick soared for Mark of the Year.
Dangerous is Liam Patrick.
Little movement happened at the top of the leaderboard, but all that changed in round 15 when Mitch Maguire took over first place when he picked up 5 votes. Aspley midfielder Andrew Swallow polled 9 votes against Southport, steering the Hornets to a thrilling 5-point victory at Graham Road. Suns duo Brayton Fiorini and Michael Barlow led the voting in Gold Coast's epic 2-point victory over the Giants at Spotless Stadium after the pair combined for 81 disposals, 20 tackles, 10 clearances and 10 inside 50s. Sydney ruckman Darcy Cameron continued his strong season with 7 votes against NT Thunder in Darwin. Abe Ankers, who collected an impressive 36 disposals, 13 clearances, 12 inside 50s and a goal in Thunder's 74-point loss, also polled 7 votes.
Good off the boot, reward for effort. Well done, NT Thunder.
By round 16, the 2018 Neafl MVP award was set for a thrilling finish. Maguire, Payne and Southport's Josh Clayton all polled 8 votes for their respective sides to keep the leaderboard tight at the top.
Inside the boundary line.
Gold Coast midfielder Michael Barlow stormed into the top 5 after polling the maximum 10 votes for his 50 disposals and 10 clearances in the Suns' upset victory over Sydney at the SCG. Giants midfielder Dylan Buckley was awarded 9 votes against Brisbane at the Gabba as the two sides played out the season's first draw. The final public leaderboard saw Maguire leading by 3 votes over Payne, with Clayton a further 2 behind in 3rd place, holding a 12-vote lead over teammate Andrew Boston in 4th. Michael Barlow joined the top 5 contenders, with only 2 votes separating the next 5 players in the race to the finish line.
Ladies and gents, I'll ask you to take your seats now, our last section for the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed dessert, and now we move on, the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to reveal our 2018 Neafl Most Valuable Player. I'd like to welcome to the stage Luke Gaddy, Neafl Operations Manager, and Jess Webster, Neafl Media and Communications Manager, to read out the votes for the final 5 rounds of the competition. As a reminder, at the conclusion of each game, both coaches and umpires independently cast their votes on a 5-4-3-2-1 basis. Therefore, the maximum amount of votes any one player can have per match is 10 votes. Presenting tonight's award to the winner at the conclusion of the count is AFL New South Wales ACT CEO Sam Graham. This could really end up being anyone's. So let's see how the final rounds play out and get stuck into this vote count. Over to you, Jess.
Thanks, Kanga. So, as we know, after round 16, Mitch Maguire held a 3-vote lead over Matthew Payne. And Josh Clayton was only 2 votes behind him, and Andrew Boston and Michael Barlow rounded out the top 5. So plenty of contenders left to go. Of course, we've still got Craig Bird, Abraham Ankers and Darcy Cameron in the top 10. So heading into round 17, Canberra, Sydney, Southport and Redland all had the bye, which left Sydney University to take on the Giants. Gold Coast played Brisbane and NT Thunder hosted Aspley. Let's check out how round 17 played out and reveal the votes.
Round 17. In round 17, Matt DeBoer and Harry Perryman start as the Giants powered away from Sydney Uni in spotless
Comes
stadium.
out to DeBoer. He was good there. Beautiful user. Drop punt on the way. We'll have the carry. That's a fantastic goal from Matt DeBoer. He's first the Savo.
Gold Coast veteran Michael Barlow once again racked up the disposals against Brisbane, but it was Ryan Bastanak who dominated to steer the Lions to a 12-point victory.
Tess Bastanak, touch number 10, gets onto the left foot, kicks it to a dangerous position.
Up in Darwin, Aspley proved too strong for NT Thunder as stars Andrew Swallow, Matthew Payne and Ben Warren did the damage in a 27-point win.
Player standing in the goal square. Warren says thank you very much, kicks the goal.
Round 17, Sydney Uni versus the Giants. 2 votes, Sydney Uni, Tom Young. 3 votes, Sydney Uni, Jacob Derricks. 4 votes, Giants, Zach Sprower. 4 votes, Giants, Tom Green. 7 votes, Giants, Harry Perryman. 10 votes, Giants, Matt DeBoer. Gold Coast versus Brisbane. 3 votes, Gold Coast, Jacob Dawson. 4 votes, Brisbane, Clay Beams. 5 votes, Brisbane, Archie Smith. 8 votes, Gold Coast, Michael Barlow. 10 votes, Brisbane, Ryan Bastanak. NT Thunder versus Aspley. 1 vote, NT Thunder, Joe Anderson. 1 vote, Aspley, Jake Spencer. 4 votes, Aspley, Reece Toy. 4 votes, Aspley, Matthew Payne. 5 votes, NT Thunder, Abraham Ankers. 5 votes, Aspley, Ben Warren. 10 votes, Aspley, Andrew Swallow.
So once again, as we take a look at the leaderboard after round 17, when it does come up. But once again, we have another lead change at the top of the leaderboard, with Matthew Payne back in front by a vote, and obviously Maguire and Clayton did not play. Michael Barlow was the biggest mover of the round after his 8 votes against Brisbane. Once again, in round 18, we had teams taking a week off, with Gold Coast, NT Thunder, Aspley and Giants having the bye. Southport played Canberra in a big match. Redland hosted Sydney University, and the Swans battled Brisbane. Let's check out the round 18 results and votes.
Round 18. In round 18, Canberra was sent crashing back to earth as Southport reclaimed top spot on the ladder with a mammoth 103-point victory. Josh Clayton doing the damage in the midfield with 33 disposals and a goal. Sydney University flexed its muscles against Redland at Scottsdale Park, led by a star-studded midfield and a soaring Ryan Hebron in defence.
Salter out of the pack, inside forward 50. Oh, what about the leap of Ryan Hebron there?
Down in Sydney, it was hard to stop Swans ruckman Darcy Cameron.
Chaos ball, big fly from Cameron.
But Clay Beams and Ben Keys starred for the Lions as they charged towards the 61-point victory.
Boot goes to the hot spot. Keys is there, snap around the body, there's a whistle. Is the advantage paid? It is. Good goal for the Lions, great crumbing work by Keys.
Round 18, Redland versus Sydney University. 2 votes, Redland, Jack Rolls. 2 votes, Sydney Uni, Cal McFadden. 4 votes, Redland, Jackson Payne. 5 votes, Sydney Uni, Ryan Hebron. 8 votes, Sydney Uni, Jack Hiscox. 9 votes, Sydney Uni, Craig Bird. Sydney versus Brisbane. 1 vote, Sydney, Dean Towers. 1 vote, Brisbane, Corey Lyons. 4 votes, Brisbane, Zach Bailey. 6 votes, Brisbane, Ben Keys. 9 votes, Brisbane, Clay Beams. 9 votes, Sydney, Darcy Cameron. Southport versus Canberra. 1 vote, Southport, Tom Wilkinson. 1 vote, Southport, Michael Manteet. 2 votes, Southport, Andrew Boston. 4 votes, Southport, Mitch Johnson. 5 votes, Canberra, Mitch Hardy. 7 votes, Southport, Wade Hancock. 10 votes, Southport, Josh Clayton.
So another twist in the MVP voting this season, with Josh Clayton taking over first place on the leaderboard for the first time this season. Darcy Cameron, in his return to the Neafl after an AFL debut, made a big jump after 9 votes. Heading into round 19, Sydney University and Brisbane had the bye, but all the top leaders were in action in a big round of voting, including a huge match between Aspley and Southport. Let's now take a look at who performed well in round 19.
The Giants kept their finals hopes alive in round 19 as Daniel Lloyd booted 6 goals and Harry Perryman ran riot in the midfield to lead their side to a comfortable win over the Gold Coast. Sydney produced a late comeback in the final term to down Canberra at Phillip Oval, where Darcy Cameron recorded a mammoth 72 hitouts. And Darren Ewing booted 8 goals to inspire the NT Thunder to victory over Redland.
Can he finish it off? Yes, he can. That's a super goal from Darren Ewing.
While at Graham Road, Aspley once again protected their home turf against rival Southport.
Swallow, who is normally a sensational user, is good this time. Freeman gets it, kicks it, and goals it.
Round 19, NT Thunder versus Redland. 1 vote, NT Thunder, Matt Campbell. 1 vote, Redland, Aaron Christensen. 2 votes, Redland, Jai Keneally. 2 votes, NT Thunder, Abraham Ankers. 2 votes, Redland. 3 votes, Redland, Jackson Payne. 4 votes, Redland, Boyd Bailey. 4 votes, NT Thunder, Richard Tambling. 5 votes, NT Thunder, Joe Anderson. 8 votes, NT Thunder, Darren Ewing. Gold Coast versus Giants. 2 votes, Gold Coast, Brad Shear. 2 votes, Gold Coast, Jacob Dawson. 3 votes, Giants, Jake Stein. 5 votes, Gold Coast, Josh Schoenfeld. 8 votes, Giants, Harry Perryman. 10 votes, Giants, Daniel Lloyd. Canberra versus Sydney. 1 vote, Canberra, Angus Baker. 1 vote, Canberra, Mitch Maguire. 2 votes, Sydney, Robbie Fox. 2 votes, Sydney, Colin O'Riordan. 3 votes, Sydney, James Rose. 3 votes, Canberra, Tom Highmore. 8 votes, Dan Robinson. 10 votes, Sydney, Darcy Cameron. Aspley versus Southport. 1 vote, Southport, Michael Manteet. 4 votes, Aspley, Jake Spencer. 4 votes, Southport, Tyler Roos. 5 votes, Aspley, James Ives. 8 votes, Aspley, Reece Toy. 8 votes, Aspley, Matthew Payne.
So once again, Aspley's Matthew Payne jumps back into first place on the leaderboard after Clayton failed to poll a vote. And Darcy Cameron is making a big run for it late in the season, now only trailing by 13 votes with 2 rounds left to play. In round 20, all teams were in action, so there is plenty of votes on offer. Let's take a look now at how round 20 played out.
Records were broken in the penultimate round of the season as Craig Bird amassed 20 clearances to inspire Sydney University to victory over Canberra.
Oh, that's beautiful stuff from the students.
Southport co-captain Andrew Boston starred as Southport recorded the biggest victory in Neafl history over NT Thunder in Darwin.
It's going to be a very long night for them and the supporters watching.
And Brisbane sealed a place in the finals by beating local rivals Gold Coast.
In Marsh and Darcy Marsh.
Matthew Payne was one of Aspley's best in their comfortable win over Redland at Graham Road. And Darcy Cameron once again dominated in Sydney's victory over the Giants.
Round 20, Gold Coast versus Brisbane. 1 vote, Gold Coast, Bailey Scott. 1 vote, Brisbane, Archie Smith. 2 votes, Gold Coast, Josh Schoenfeld. 3 votes, Brisbane, Sam Mays. 5 votes, Gold Coast, Jacob Dawson. 8 votes, Brisbane, Ben Keys. 10 votes, Brisbane, Corey Lyons. Sydney University versus Canberra. 1 vote, Canberra, Angus Baker. 1 vote, Sydney Uni, Ned Reinhard. 2 votes, Sydney Uni, Jacob Derricks. 2 votes, Canberra, Cameron Milne. 3 votes, Canberra, Tom Fall. 4 votes, Sydney Uni, Ryan Hebron. Votes, Sydney Uni, Craig Bird. Giants versus Sydney. 1 vote, Sydney, Jake Brown. 1 vote, Sydney, Heath Grundy. 2 votes, Sydney, James Bell. 2 votes, Sydney, Colin O'Riordan. 6 votes, Giants, Zach Williams. 8 votes, Sydney, Dean Towers. 10 votes, Sydney, Darcy Cameron. NT Thunder versus Southport. 1 vote, Southport, Ryan Davis. 1 vote, Southport, Jed Turner. 2 votes, NT Thunder, Abraham Ankers. 3 votes, Southport, Dylan Fife. 4 votes, Southport, Tyler Roos. 4 votes, Southport, Lee Dale. 5 votes, Southport, Tom Wilkinson. 10 votes, Southport, Andrew Boston. Aspley versus Redland. 2 votes. Aspley, James Ives. 2 votes. Aspley, Jake Spencer. 4 votes. Aspley, Blake Nellis. 4 votes. Aspley, Will Gowers. 4 votes. Aspley, Gavin Gross. 5 votes. Aspley, Ben Warren. 9 votes. Aspley, Matthew Payne.
So, as you can see on the leaderboard, after round 20, Matthew Payne cannot be caught, and he will become a 3-time Neafl MVP winner. However, there is still a little bit of history to be played in round 21. Should Payne poll 2 or more votes against Canberra, he will become the first player in Neafl history to surpass 400 career votes. The odds are in his favour when you consider that equals an average of 3.2 votes per game for the 5 seasons that this award has been running. So let's not waste any more time and reveal the final votes of the season before congratulating our 2018 Neafl MVP.
Valuable leader positions were up for grabs in round 21, and it was Southport which claimed the minor premiership with a comfortable win over Redland. Sydney were too strong for Gold Coast before Brisbane stormed into the finals in style over the Giants in Blacktown. Sydney University recorded a healthy percentage boost over NT Thunder, while down in the nation's capital, a third-quarter blitz steered Aspley to a tight victory over Canberra.
Into the path of Blake Nellis, and Nellis, he's taken a shot at goal and he has put it through.
Round 21. Giants versus Brisbane. 1 vote Brisbane, Toby Wooler. 2 votes Giants, Alex Smout. 3 votes Giants, Zach Williams. 6 votes Brisbane, Rowan Buick. 8 votes Brisbane, Ryan Bastanak. 10 votes Brisbane, Corey Lyons. Southport versus Redland. 1 vote Redland, Adrian Williams. 4 votes Southport, Cody Firewood. 4 votes Southport, Ryan Davis. 5 votes Southport, Tyler Roos. 8 votes Southport, Josh Clayton. 10 votes Southport, Andrew Boston. Sydney University versus NT Thunder. 1 vote NT Thunder, Abraham Akers. 1 vote NT Thunder, Cameron Eilert. 5 votes Sydney Uni, Tom Young. 5 votes Sydney Uni, Jake Bartholomeus. 8 votes Sydney Uni, Callum McFadden. 10 votes Sydney Uni, Craig Bird. Sydney versus Gold Coast. 1 vote Sydney, Sam Wicks. 1 vote Gold Coast, Brodie Foster. 2 votes Gold Coast, Kwabi Boki. 2 votes Gold Coast, Jacob Dawson. 4 votes Gold Coast, Darcy McPherson. 4 votes Sydney, James Bell. 6 votes Sydney, Colin O'Riordan. 10 votes Sydney, Darcy Cameron. Canberra versus Aspley. 1 vote Aspley, Ben Warren. 1 vote Canberra, Alex Pake. 2 votes Canberra, Lucas Moline. 2 votes Canberra, Angus Baker. 6 votes Aspley, Matthew Payne. 8 votes Canberra, Mitch Maguire. 10 votes Aspley, Jake Spencer. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to announce and congratulate Matthew Payne as the 2018 Neafl MVP winner, 3-time winner. Congratulations, Matthew. Please come to the stage.
There seems to be no stopping Aspley megastar Matthew Payne as his incredible legacy in the Neafl only strengthened in 2018.
Payne knew it, collected the footy, danced around one, gives the handball off, and Harry Pearce.
As co-captain of the Hornets, Payne polled MVP votes in 15 of his 18 matches, whilst averaging 29 disposals, 4.5 inside 50s, and over 6 clearances per game.
To the run of Payne, his full measure from 45 metres. No issues there for Matthew Payne. He puts it through for his first major of the afternoon. Well, it's been a tough one for Aspley. He has been a shining light.
Now a 3-time Neafl MVP winner, Payne is undoubtedly an icon of our competition as we yet again crown the champion midfielder as our most valuable player.
Gave off to Payne from just inside 50. He puts through Aspley second.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we might take a glass of the bubbly in front of you, Matthew. I think you should grab a glass, well deserved. And I'll just ask everybody to be upstanding and raise your glasses for the 2018 Neafl MVP winner, Matthew Payne. To Matthew. Well, Matthew, or Painey, I'll call you Painey. It seems more comfortable to me. We see two banners up here, and we're about to add, obviously, another one as the years go by. 3 Neafl MVPs. It's a magnificent achievement. What do you do to keep it fresh? What do you do? At 32 years of age, it's fair to say the end is closer than obviously the end is nigh. What do you do to make sure you stay fresh?
In years gone by, I like to sort of mix up what I want to do sort of in the off season a little bit. But for me this year, I've done a lot of Pilates. I was saying before that I never don't do many leg weights, so I feel like that's sort of been the key this year to keep fresh and like hold my pace and run better. So yeah, it's the key this year.
It's your secret to skipping leg day.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well done. I had it on pretty good authority that over the summer there was some discussion that Matthew Payne might opt out of the Neafl competition for perhaps a step back. Aspley obviously coaxed you into keep going. Was there ever any shred of truth to the fact that you were thinking about, am I up to the rigours of Neafl? Because here we are with you being crowned the Neafl MVP yet again.
I spoke to a couple of clubs. It was just sort of see what the options were really. I don't know, I think last year was a disappointing year and we didn't really finish that well. And yeah, I don't think I enjoyed it as much last year. But then I think with a few recruits that we sort of spoke to and were coming to the club, I feel like that's what we sort of needed, new faces. And once we sort of signed them, it was a no-brainer to play again.
Was it really that midfield engine that I suppose has helped sort of take the pressure off you somewhat? Obviously the addition of Jake Spencer in the middle and really hitting it down your throat a lot, and Andrew Swallow, and then the returning players of Ives and just that mix coming through the midfield. That must be great to really boost the energy, knowing you're not going to be sat on all the time by taggers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Jake's been a huge one for me this year. But even Spitter reckons he takes the tags every week, which he doesn't. But I think they're just your fresh faces, really. Like it. Yeah, I get a pretty good run at the club, like with taps or whatever, and rotations, that sort of thing. So I think it's just, for me, it was just having fresh faces and, something different coming into this year, which has made it a bit easier.
Now, Neafl MVPs obviously don't equate to premierships, and you have certainly the premiership at Aspley a few years ago under your belt. What's different this year that you think you might be able to go deeper into the Neafl finals?
I think the personnel we got. I think we've got a really good group. I think last year we had a few blokes that didn't really buy into what we wanted to do, and this year I think that we went away this week. I think look around, everyone was getting along. Had little groups and that, but everyone could talk to everyone and have a good time together. I think that if everyone's on the same page and getting along, it's a big difference for us this year as well.
Now, you have said to me a few times, you say, I'm a bit shy, I'm a bit awkward, with the microphone in a hand. You're doing well so far, I might add. But this might get a bit awkward for you, but Mum and Dad are here, so this is a wonderful thing for Maxine and John. It's John, isn't it?
Yeah,
I know Maxine's name because she used to message me and say, can you send me Maddie's videos and so forth? And it must be really gratifying to have Mum and Dad and the support, even though they're coming from interstate, to really know that they're behind your career. And you've racked up am I right in saying 9 best and fairest across 3 clubs? Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, the support you've had across all the clubs and from your family must be incredibly overwhelming and gratifying.
Absolutely. I think Mum's the biggest fan. She's always watching online. Dad watches every now and then, I think. If it's a game on Saturday, he's playing golf, so he doesn't watch. But yeah, like they're my 2 biggest fans, so it's always, it's good having him here tonight. Larry actually invited him. I thought I was going to come runner up, and I'm going to come and see me come second, so that was good to see me.
Now, over the journey of playing in the Neafl, I mean, you've managed to stay at the upper echelon, obviously, and fantastic award there. What have you seen as changes in the Neafl, and how have you seen it really progress, both in standard and personnel, and the willingness, I suppose, of people to roll up their sleeves and give the Neafl the recognition, you know, so that we can rightly, deservedly crown you MVP this year at least?
I think the changes in the league, like for us, you can't have a night off. Like, you have a night off during the week, it affects your game on the weekends and that. So I think the professionalism of the league and our team this year, it's stepped up from year to year. Every year it's getting harder and harder. I think with us, so we do it pretty well. We don't overdo it with the way we train and that. We train 2 nights a week, we cut it back, but I think it's just finding a good balance between that. Doing the work, but also having enough time to enjoy everything outside of footy.
How many more years are in the leagues? And I think, you know, we've seen obviously a decorated career across many clubs. Best and fairest, more than you can probably hold in 2 arms. How many more years has Matty Payne theoretically got? Is football very much in your blood, that if it's not at Neafl level, it's down a few levels? Is Matty Payne the type that he's going to go on and play football until he can't play football anymore?
The way I feel, my body, I feel like I can play for, 5 more years. I think with work and everything else, I have to just sort of weigh it up year to year. The way I feel this year, though, I could go forever, sort of thing. That's the way I feel. So just weigh it up how work is and everything else, and I think it's just a year to year thing, really. I don't want to go back and play at a low level. I think that was sort of, once I'm done with this level, I think that'll be it for me.
Well, we hope you stick around as long as you possibly can, and your body and your mind are willing to, because you're a wonderful servant for football in Queensland, highly decorated at a number of different clubs, and I'm sure Aspley are just delighted to have you in their stable and keep producing week after week. 3 Neafl MVPs, hopefully deep into September, but I want to wish you all the best, Matthew, and I think everybody here would really recognise what a champion of the Neafl and Queensland football you'd be, and congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
I will just ask you finally, is there anybody you want to thank? And I'll give you the stage here to really say what you need to say.
Well, I'm not thanking Perko, because he's been on all week. I think just everyone at the Aspley Footy Club. Obviously, it's an individual award, but without everyone's support and help down there, I wouldn't be up here. I think we got, hopefully win the flag this year, and that's what ultimately everyone wants at the club. But this is a little bonus along the way. So thanks to everyone at the footy club.
Well, congratulations to Matthew Payne, and well done again on winning the 2018 Neafl MVP award. Ladies and gents, that concludes this evening. I'd like to thank you all for attending, especially the special guests. Congratulations to all the award winners, and good luck to all those teams who are still in the running to win the 2018 Neafl Premiership. My name's Mark Kennedy. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honour. I'm so passionate about the Neafl, and I hope that comes through in the way that I've tried to host and MC this evening. Thanks for having me, and good night, everybody.